Hello, everyone, and welcome in to this podcast. What is going to be a daily podcast? Since I am quarantined at home, try to do something a little beneficial with my time. So, a little background on myself. My name is Jordan Taylor. I am a student from Eastern Kentucky University with hopes of being a sports broadcaster one day. Obviously, ain't no sports to talk about. So, the one prevalent thing for me to talk about is coronavirus or COVID 19. Um, Lousy Rona done messed everything up for everybody. So I ain't got no sports to talk about. So I figured I could do something beneficial, do a little daily Rona report, and get you guys updated on uh, what's going on with coronavirus. So uh, as I said, I'm a student from East Kentucky University, so a lot of the stuff's going to be focused on Kentucky, touch on Madison County, where Eastern Kentucky University is, as well as the state of Kentucky. I know a lot of people in Kentucky watch Governor Andy Beshear's update every day at 5 o'clock. Uncle Andy, as we like to call him. So I'm kind of doing a rapid fire, if you will. Not real rapid, so I'm not going to speed through everything to where you can't keep up, but just give you a little update on what Governor Beshear said in his daily press conference, a little bit of what Donald Trump said in his as well. So yeah, that's the gist of it. Give you a daily Rona report. Try to give you the quick bites, the little tidbits, if you will, of the important information. Hopefully, Rona Rondo will chill out soon and we can try to get back to normal. But until then, I will be here daily, updating you through my YouTube channel uh, on the quick tidbits of information. So we'll go ahead and get into it. Uh, First things first, we'll talk about Madison County, where um, EKU is located and where I currently live. Um, so just bear with me for a second here. As you can see, these are the confirmed cases by county. Madison County has 23 confirmed cases. This is updated as of today. 23 confirmed cases for Madison County, one death. Obviously, where I work, Fayette County is the closest large county. It's also where I work as well. So Fayette County, that's Lexington, Kentucky. There are 223 confirmed cases with 8 deaths thus far. So there's a little update on that for you. For the local side of things, that's the numbers for that. As I said, I'm trying to do just a little quick rapid fire, give you the numbers, the stats, new updates as far as like protocols and things like that that have been issued. So I'm not going to beat you over the head with too much info, with too much side stuff. Just get straight to the point. So next, in Kentucky, so Governor Beshear talked about this today, and that is the top 10 steps to fight COVID-19. Team Kentucky, these are the steps here as you can see on the screen. The main one he stressed was stay healthy at home. He's been stressing this since the beginning. Leave only for essential items such as groceries once a week. Also, avoid crowds and gatherings. You don't want to be anywhere where it's more than 10 people. Practice social distancing. Keep to 6 feet between you and others. Know when to seek care. So if you feel sick, if you feel like you have the symptoms, get some tests. We'll talk about the testing that is available. He also talked about new testing today. And then you can stay up to date through reliable sources such as kycovid19.kentucky.gov. Another site is for Kentucky is govstatus.egov.com/kycovid19. Don't worry about writing these down right now. I'll have all, if you look down below in the description of this video, I will have the link, all of the links for these websites down there, so you can check them out at any time. Also, you want to wash hands and surfaces. Apply for benefits. If you've been laid off from work, like I have, apply for that unemployment. Make sure you still have money coming in. Prioritize mental health. So, you want to seek out virtual social opportunities, maintain a routine, go outside while practicing social distancing and do those things that's going to help your physical health as well as your mental health in this time. Do not travel. Governor Bashir said it all along, safest place for you and others is at home. And then report non-compliance. So if you see individuals or businesses not complying with the guidelines, then you can report that to KY Safe R hotline at 1-833 KY Safer. So there is the top 10 that he talked about today. He also said that we're close to finalizing guidelines to open back up hospital and healthcare services for phase one of the gradual restart. He said that he's hoping to implement that on Monday. So I know that he talked about how, surgeries and things like that people haven't been able to do. Obviously, healthcare is still treating those things that are seen as like mandatory or must be done. But he's hoping to go into phase one of the gradual restart to be able to do things that aren't necessarily essential but can still benefit people. So surgeries and things like that, hoping to get those back underway. So as far as testing, thing he talked about today, so testing, the main sites so far, Madisonville, Somerset, Frankfort, and Paducah. Those are the drive-through testing sites that are in partnership with Kroger. 571 tests done Tuesday and Thursday, so a pretty good number there. He did also talk about some new sites. I know you guys see me looking over this side. I got some notes over here, make sure I don't miss anything. But so some new sites starting next week, Monday through Friday. So they're going to be available Monday through Friday every day of the week. Those sites are in Louisville. It's going to be at Shawnee Park, and in Lexington at BCTC, so Bluegrass Community and Technical College, on Newtown Pike. So those will be available Monday through Friday, and then also Tuesday through Thursday. There's going to be sites in Owensboro and Bowling Green as well. So anybody. Now at first, when they started these drive-through tests, you had to meet guidelines, have symptoms and all those kind of things, be at risk or whatever have you. But now they're saying, Andy Bashir, Uncle Andy told us today that anybody that wants to get tested can go to these sites. So if you would like to get tested, again, don't have to worry about writing this down. I'll have it. You look down below, the link will be there. But those are all of those sites I talked about are the Kroger partnerships. Those are going to be to register for that drive-through testing. You're going to go to thelittleclinic.com/drive-through -testing. So that link will be down below as well. Check it out there if you do want to sign up to get tested. There's also going to be starting Friday, April 24th, Walgreens on Executive Drive in Lexington. That one's going to be available 7 days per week. So a lot of tests will be done there, but for the Walgreens one, you do have to fall under the guidelines. So have symptoms, be at risk, those kind of things. But that one, to register for it, you go to walgreens.com/coronavirus. And again, that'll be down below in the description for that link. I also talked about the different types of testing. So one type is testing to see if you're currently infected or if you have been infected, and then there's other types testing to see if there's antibodies for people that have recovered from the coronavirus to see if they have antibodies to help create a vaccine and a cure for COVID-19. So as far as new cases for the state of Kentucky, you've probably seen them on that site when I was talking about Madison and Fayette County, but there was 196 new cases for Kentucky today, and that brought the confirmed total to 3,373 total COVID-19 cases in the state of Kentucky. Out of those cases, Governor Bashir did say that 1,311 people have recovered from the coronavirus. There was also 14 new deaths today in Kentucky, 185 total now for the state of Kentucky from COVID-19. So obviously 185 is more than we want. We don't want any, but as this thing goes, obviously more and more people will die. So you got to practice these things. Stay at home. Stay safe at home. Continue to practice the guidelines so that we can lower this curve and try to get back to things as normal as possible as soon as possible. So another thing that Governor Bashir talked about, and something that I've been talking to people I'm close to about as well, is how we don't want a second spike. So even though like the curve's starting to flatten out for Kentucky, don't want to open things back up too soon, reopen the economy, try to go back to normal too soon, because then you're going to have a second spike. So you'll kind of, you go up, and then Kentucky's starting to plateau, as Governor Bashir said, not really increasing as much, not really on the decrease yet, but starting to plateau uh, for the number of cases and things. But you don't want to like plateau, start to decrease, and then reopen too soon, and then you spike way back up, have more cases or more deaths than you could have avoided by waiting a little bit longer. So just keep practicing these things. Hopefully we can get back to normal soon. Um, Another thing that he did talk about for when things are to open back up the economy. So there's 7 benchmarks that Governor Bashir has talked about that are in correlation with what the White House has issued for opening up the economy. So those 7 benchmarks are 14 days where cases are decreasing. So like obviously there's going to be more and more cases each day, but the amount of those increase of cases is slowly less and less, less and less. So you want 14 days where the amount of new cases was less than the day before. Also increased testing capacity and contact tracing. So a lot of the drive-through testing is helping with that. And then another benchmark, personal protective equipment availability. So got to have the PPE available, because when we do open back up, that's definitely going to be a necessity. Ability to protect at-risk populations. So those are like elderly, underlying health conditions. You want to be able to make sure you can protect them when you open back up. And then the ability to social distance, follow the CDC, or Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's guidelines on large gatherings. Also, preparedness for a possible future spike. That's another benchmark that almost sounded like I said cuss word. Promise you I didn't. I said benchmark. Uh, Make sure you want to be prepared for that possible future spike. And then the status of a vaccine and treatment. So once we can get closer to a vaccine and treatment, we're also getting closer to things getting back to normal, things being back opened up. So once all of those benchmarks are met, then we can move into the first stage of reopening, or phase 1. For that, for the individuals, you still want to, continue to practice good hygiene. If you feel sick, stay at home. Uh, Vulnerable individuals should continue to shelter in place during phase 1. All individuals when in public should maximize physical distance, avoid gatherings of 10 or more people, minimize non-essential travel, and adhere to CDC guidelines regarding isolation following travel. So that's individual guidelines. For employers, obviously, Uncle Andy wants to continue to encourage telework. Governor Bashir Uncle Andy's kind of the nickname that Kentuckians have given him. So, if possible, return to work in phases. That's another guideline he was given. Close common areas, minimize non-essential travel, and adhere to the CDC guidelines regarding isolation. Strongly consider special accommodations for personnel who are members of the vulnerable population. And then for specific types of employers. So he's already said that schools should remain closed for the rest of the school year. Students won't be back until in the fall at the soonest, but schools and organized youth activities should remain closed even during phase 1. Visits to senior living facilities and hospitals should still be prohibited during phase 1. And then large venues like sit-down dining, movie theaters, sporting venues, places of worship, they can operate, but under strict physical distancing protocols. And then elective surgeries can resume as clinically appropriate on an outpatient basis at facilities that adhere to the guidelines. So that was kind of part of the first thing, that phase 1 of the gradual restart for hospital and healthcare. That kind of ties into that as well. And then he also said that gyms can reopen if they adhere to strict physical distancing and sanitation protocols. but bars should remain closed. So those are the guidelines for phase one. If we can hit those 7 benchmarks to start reopening the economy in Kentucky. That's kind of what he is given. That's pretty much the update for Kentucky. So now we'll move on to kind of what's going on around the nation. Donald Trump and his updates. So Donald Trump did say in his conference today that several major hot zones have reached peaks and have started to descend. So he talked about like Detroit and Chicago, places like that have started to reach their peak and started descending. So definitely good news there. If in fact that is the case, that's great news. So for the United States, now there are 846,982 cases total of COVID-19. Of those, there have been 46,609 deaths in America. It's a lot of people. So for those of you that are still under the assumption that this isn't real, that's a lot of people dying for something to not be real. So make sure you're practicing the CDC guidelines and things we can do to beat this faster and have less people lose their lives to this virus. However, good news, there in America have been 77,175 people that have recovered from COVID-19. So that's a lot of people too. So it's good to know that people are recovering as well. So something else that Trump talked about, and as you can see, I'll give you guys a little. So this is the CDC's website for the coronavirus. They give you total cases, total deaths, people that's reporting. You can look by state to see how many cases there are. Just kind of browse on it, it'll tell you. But I will tell you that, as you can see, that number is different than the one I just gave you. The CDC's website is a day behind, so it's like from 4 p.m. the day before. So this is as of yesterday, April 21st. Obviously a different number than what I reported, but still nonetheless you can get numbers there. Look at the curves and things like that. So definitely check that out if you're ever curious. I'll have the link for that as well. It's cdc.gov/coronavirus. I will have that down in the description as well, so you can check that out there. But another thing that Donald Trump talked about today was how he disagreed strongly with the Georgia governor, that is Republican Governor Brian Kemp, on reopening a lot of businesses. So on Monday, Governor Kemp announced that certain businesses can reopen this week. Those businesses, he said specifically, fitness centers, bowling alleys, body art studios, barbershops, hair salons, and massage therapy, that could all reopen as early as Friday, April 24th. He said also that theaters and restaurants can reopen on Monday, April 27th, but all bars and nightclubs will remain closed for now. So Trump did talk about how he disagreed with that, and thinks that he's doing that a little bit too soon. So we'll hope that it doesn't cause a dramatic second spike in the state of Georgia and cause more damage to be done than should be, and that can be avoided. So hopefully people will still practice the things they need to, even with those things being opened back up in Georgia, so that it doesn't cause more damage than needs to be. The last thing from today's update, Donald Trump signed an executive order on immigration. So in his conference, I'm reading this verbatim, his quote. So he said that he had signed the executive order before coming into his press conference today. But he said that in order to protect our great American workers, I've just signed an executive order temporarily suspending immigration into the United States. This will ensure that unemployed Americans of all backgrounds will be first in line for jobs as our economy reopens. Crucially, it will also preserve our healthcare resources for American patients. Uh, he said that we have to take care of our patients, we have to take care of our great American workers, and that's what we're doing. So I just signed it before coming into the room, and very important. So the order is expected to temporarily halt the issuance of new green cards and visas. Um, so basically, Trump trying to stop any immigrants from coming in while this pandemic continues. So an executive order to try to halt that from happening and keep those immigration numbers down. Um, so that is, in a nutshell, the update that I have for you guys today. As I said, I try to just give you the quick updates, the numbers, get straight to the point. For full updates and details around the nation, you can go to cdc.gov/coronavirus or coronavirus.gov. I will have those. Like I said, every link that I talked about is going to be down below in the description, so you can check them out there. So until tomorrow, I'll see you guys for tomorrow's Rona report. Have a great night.